What is up, guys, and welcome back to another stream. Tonight we're going to be returning to Gran Turismo 2 Project A-Spec. It's been well over a month since the last time I streamed this game, so I do want to apologize for that first off. I know it's been a long while since the last time I streamed A-Spec. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of things different this to go around than the last few times I've done A-Spec streams. You guys may have saw if you watched the iRacing stream I did. I've got some new overlays, stuff like that. I'm going to be adding some more to that in the future. But for now, just going to work with what I used last night. Hope you guys like the new starting soon animation. It's quite simple. I made it to be, able to be used with different games. Like you guys saw last night, I had a Ferrari 499p on there. And tonight is some old Gran Turismo. It's just two GIFs, really. I really was just trying to be quick and easy with it. But I'm going to very quickly get A-Spec loaded up, which is why this graphic will stay on screen for a minute. I didn't want to open it while that was going on. Going to remind me later on that update. Start file. I just got to remember where that game file lives. It's been quite a while, apparently not on this drive. There we go. Alright, let me switch to this. Looks like the chat is busted. Don't know why that's not showing. See if I do this, if it comes back. There we go. It's back. I'm going to actually make this slightly smaller. Get above that, and then we'll scoot that into... There we go. Okay. Alright. I don't remember what we did last time, so bear with me on that. It's been a while since I played this, so I have zero clue where we were. Let me make sure I unmute the game. That chat might have to be moved. I really don't like that placement. You know what? I have text-to-speech on. I'll just disable it for now. I'll figure something out with that later. Alright, so last time out, I know I got the F40, which was something I was very excited to get. And got up to 929 horsepower. So, very, very fast car now. Trying to think what all we're still working on here. I know this thing will be very much able to take down the strong majority of the special events at this point that don't have a horsepower limit. I think it's time we tackle some of those later big events. Looks like we've done the Supercar Festival events. Let's go ahead and continue on with that, honestly. We'll start there and we'll work our way out. Excuse me. Alright, Deep Forest should be a fun little race with the F40 in all of its glory here. Five laps. This car makes short work of it, though, honestly. Goodness, yeah, this thing is a rocket. I just was running the reverse layout as well. I'm gonna have to relearn this game. Okay. I have to relearn the physics a little bit. It's been so long since I've actually sat down and played this. Okay, so we're getting understeer, and then oversteer, and then understeer, and then oversteer. Right off rip. Got some work to do now after that spin. Not a very good handling car, honestly, in this game. What the heck is happening? I flat out can't drive this, other than I'm just completely not used to the physics anymore. We're playing so much iRacing and GT7 and all that stuff lately. Let's see if I could reel these guys in here on the straight. Oh my goodness. Why is this thing like so hard to drive? I'm like really struggling with this car. Like this is like starting to make the S4 and Plus look easy to drive. At least got to back around that Lamborghini. Open the taps on the straight. Got a couple laps left here. I think we can reel them back in. Holy air time. I just really got to figure this car out because it is quite a hard horse to tame on this one. I thought I'd slow down more than enough for that. I guess it's handy. I was just playing Underground 2 before I did this stream, and the controls are identical for the most part. Come on. This car is trying to make my job difficult tonight. Alright, let's see if I can reel this one in. Let all 929 horsepower speak for itself here, and we do retake that lead. Finally. Almost spin out. And just like that, we're in fourth. I think that makes sense. The R390, I suppose. I have to sit here and like send a throttle maneuver this thing. Oh my goodness gracious, this car. That's the end of our race there. Yeah, this thing is virtually impossible to drive. Like, it understeers so heavily, and then it just wants to spin itself out going into a corner. Like, why am I having to go almost 40 miles an hour through that corner? Like, under 50 miles an hour. That's, like, crazy to me. Holy air. Okay. Yeah, I love that. I braked more than enough for that corner. This is making the S4 look easy to drive, honestly. Like, if y'all remember the S4 and Plus, when I played through GT2 Plus a couple years ago, I hated that car. Which is ironic, because now I actually want to own a B5 in real life. Okay, I might have to turn up the volume on the text to speech. I can't hear. Oh, it's that car guy. What's up, man? Busy watching me get smacked around out here. See if I can. I mean, I have to restart this race anyway. It's obvious that this was not gonna go well for me, honestly. Let's see if I can turn the game down slightly so I can hear a bit better. Let's just restart this race. It's obvious that that was not going to go to plan at all. That's annoying. What tires did I put on this car? Because, I mean, I really don't feel like that car should be that hard to drive. I mean, the F40, I mean, I know it's not a full board.
Car guy 350 said, how's the F40?
The F40 is a complete travesty to drive, honestly. Really unfortunate as a F40 super fan. We're on super softs, and it's understeering worse than the S4? I can't crack this car. Like, it snaps out if you brake, and it understeers everywhere else. Luckily, I've got 834,000 credits, so if I need to find something that will handle, I can do so. That is really weird, though. Like, you would think that that car would be god tier in this game. What do we got in here? We got the they got the CR4 and the CTR2 Sport race car, and I just barely don't have enough money for it. But it's also rear-wheel drive. I'm trying to find something all-wheel. And the CTR2 did me dirty during the Plus Let's Play, unless they've added more power to this thing. I don't know what the Turbo R is. Let's see, is the Turbo R all-wheel drive? It's obvious with these older games I need to have all-wheel drive. It's just my driving style. The Turbo R is all-wheel drive. And I'm actually pretty sure this is a A-Spec add-in. Like, I don't think this is a factory GT2 game, or GT2 car. Let me see. I'm going to go to their website. I'm trying to find their website. Where is it? Maybe I have to go to the Discord again. I think that's how I did it before. Let's see. Okay, they did not add the Turbo R. They had the BR2, the CR4, and that CTR2 Sport. What's in the BR2? I assume it's here. What's up with the BR2? It's rear-wheel drive and only makes like 355 horsepower. This looks like it's basically a Carrera. Honestly. Alright, well. Let's continue on and see what else we can find. Because I desperately want something that's actually going to handle relatively okay. And so far I'm not seeing that. I'm actually also going to put... Well, we don't need background music. I was going to put some background music on, but probably no need to. Okay, let's explore a little bit. I want to see how much just going straight to an LMP car is going to cost me. That would probably not be in the normal lineup. 2 million, of course. Well beyond what I have. Oh, it's actually not for sale. Okay. Let me check the website. See where to get it. Unlocked after completing German Nationals Race 3. So what's German Nationals Race 3? So we may not even have to fight to get that car.
Dad Car Guy 350 said North City music is a banger.
It is, for real. Alright, German Nationals 3. It's limited to 582 horsepower on Deep Forest. Let's see what we've got that has around that. Apparently, there's also an RM for the V12 LMR. I can only imagine how crazy that is. I'm trying to think what we would even have that would be in that same tier, horsepower-wise. I mean, the Caterham might do a good job here. The Quattro, maybe. The Quattro makes less than that. Power to weight would help out there. How about the Sylvia? It's 346. That's a GT300 car. The Skyline GT500. I could technically use this. Just be a little cheap using a race car. The GT40. I think I did give that car the time of day in Plus, and I hated it because it was super oversteery. What this 400R? Is this the same one I used earlier on in the playthrough? It is not. It is different. Is this thing all-wheel drive? Okay, it is. I don't kind of want to play around with this a little bit anyway. We're going to drive the Alltech GTR 4-door. And I'm going to throw a little bit of cash at it. We're going to get the power up. I've just learned with this game I need all-wheel drive. It's just, or at least extreme aero, which the F40 unfortunately does not give. So we're just going to throw a little bit of cash at this car, get the power up, and then put some good brakes and suspension on it, call it a day. Because I do think I should probably build a car around that 582 range for some of these races. Okay, we're just going straight to the Stage 4 turbo. Bumped up to 526 horsepower, just like that. I'm going to double check, make sure it's 582 and not 528. Because I don't want to overbuild this car by accident. 582, okay. So we have a little bit of cash we can still throw at it. Nothing crazy. I want to get the power there first, and we'll work around everything else. I want to see. This exhaust will get us pretty close. Let's throw an intake on it. Or actually not intake, I think it's included in the muffler thing. Alright, we'll just throw a chip on it. Or as it's actually nowadays an ECU tune. I forget back when this game came out, cars were still typically tuned with chips. They weren't flash tuned like cars today are. And we're gonna throw super softs. Dude, it'd be so cool if in GT7 tires were still this cheap. Granted, it'd make the game kind of broken, honestly. Having those kind of tires so quick. We're just gonna go with the semi-racing kit. I don't think we really need the full customization on this car. This should do the trick. Just in case, I am going to get the full customized transmission, the full racing transmission.
Dat Car Guy 350 said port and polish.
Do you think the port and polish would break reg though? 582 is getting up there. Oops, wrong one. Full engine bouncing will break reg. And port and polish will break it by about 3 horsepower. Okay, so I think we're about as good as we can get. Let's see what wheel options we have. I want to see Yokohama wheels. I just switched to Yokohama tires on my GTI in real life, and I actually really like them. Ooh. I'm not really a black wheel guy anymore. I had black wheels on my truck back in the day. This car kind of pulls it off, though. I think I might go black wheels on this car. Let's do it. Alright. We should be good to go now to go and race on the German Nationals 3. I'm going to actually turn up the game volume for you guys on Steam. Or not on Steam, OBS. So you guys can hear it a little bit better. Let me know if that's too loud and I can turn it down. I'm trying to keep it like under my normal talking volume. Alright, here we go. German Nationals Race 3. This should give us the V12 LMR at the end. So, I would definitely like to win this one.
Dad Car Guy 350. Said the good OL roast tirade days.
Yes, sir. Definitely has that stereotype old GTR sound from the older Gran Turismo games. They got a grid of DTM cars. I imagine that's why the horsepower limit was made what it was. This means we're going to have our work cut out for us because these guys are going to have the aero that we do not. And some of these, I believe the Opel Calibra in front of us is going to be all-wheel drive as well. Should have just bought a DTM car, honestly. And we're struggling with some handling issues right off rip. Okay, yeah, this is going to be way harder than I thought. The GTR can't steer. It understeers just as bad as the S4. I really can't seem to win. If I go all-wheel drive, the car's understeer. If I go with the F40, it understeers and then oversteers. I can't win, apparently. I'm just not destined to do very well in this at this point. Let's go back to North City. I just want to see what options for possibly a DTM car would be. Go Vauxhall. Special. We should be able to get a Calibra. The Tigra Ice Race car. There is the Calibra, I presume, at 1 million. So, could sell a couple cars maybe and get to the Calibra. The Calibra, if I remember, can be made kind of quick. Of course, I don't know if it was in GT2 originally. I don't know if I'd want the actual Opel or if I want the Vauxhall, just to throw a curveball. Wait, hold on. Does North City also service British cars? Okay, it does. Why is Vauxhall even here? Like, I always forget North City is Britain and German cars. British and German cars. Let's see Italian stuff with the Alfa Romeo cost. That is my favorite DTM car. The 155 is about the same. Let's see, what's this other car? It's cheaper, oddly enough. Huh? What is this? It's got a V6. I assume it's a Busso. What's the displacement? It's a 3-liter V6. So maybe not be a Busso. I can't remember if the Busso was... I know the Busso was also a 3.2-liter. Oh gosh, this thing looks crazy. So this is most definitely like an old school, like Le Mans prototype style car. The Tubolare, I assume it's turbocharged. Tubolare. Okay, it's not Turbolare, it's Tubolare. Okay, it's not turbocharged. Possibly. I don't know. I don't know anything about that car, actually. What's going on with Alpine? Oh, that's Lancia. That's not Alpine. I think Alpine is just the A110 or the A310, one of the two. The A442B, this is definitely some old school prototype car. See, I would run with something like this, but I feel like I want more aerodynamics than these older prototypes can offer. See, I'm torn, because I could sell a couple cars. I could probably sell something here. There's got to be a car that's worth some cash I can get rid of. I'm not selling the Quattro because I like that car too much. What's the Lotus Europa worth? Only 20k. Not really worth selling, honestly. The Stratus. Probably never going to drive it, honestly. 75. I need like 200 or 300k. The Angel TO1. I assume this is a Tom's, I believe. Only 12 grand. Yeah, it's... I imagine probably the Chaparral 2D will be worth some money. And to be honest, I did not enjoy driving this car when I drove it like forever ago on stream. I think it is going to go. I was really not happy with that car. I'm probably going to sell the Copperhead. That should get us pretty close to what I need here. I'm never going to drive this car. And I can easily go get another one if I need to. So we have 959,000 credits. I need just a little bit more. I'm trying not to sell a whole lot of cars because I'm also trying to keep a lot of the add-in cars. But I do want to make some room for something that's going to be fairly competent on track. Because I'm getting frustrated that the Caterham's the only car I've driven in this game that actually drives really well. I believe that's the prototype is the one I used. I think this was an add-in by them. That's what I was using before. I think we can sell the normal 400R. Only 30 grand, really. I mean, that is 30 grand closer. Let's go ahead and sell the regular 400R since I still have the prototype. And then probably this thing, the Tom's TO20. I guess not. I'm trying to remember which car it was. There was a V8 MR2. I can't remember the actual name of the car off the top of my head. I know it was raced in JTTC for a minute. I'm blanking because I know what it is. But I can't remember the name of the car. Let's see. I need to sell... Where's that other Tom's that I have no interest in keeping? This guy. Okay, we should have 1 million now. Okay, we've got just over 1 million. Oops, not where I wanted to go. Alright, so what are we thinking? We thinking the Calibra, possibly the Mercedes. I believe the Mercedes is an add-in. It's not all-wheel drive, though. But it's also got a mess ton of aero on it, so that could benefit me here. Well, actually, I don't know. Okay, no, it is a rear-wheel drive DTM car. What's the other Mercedes? It's 2 million. Ooh, okay. The Sauber C9. One of my favorite Group C cars. I absolutely love that thing. I love the Mazda probably more, honestly, the 787B, but I love the Sauber C9. So we can go with the Merc. The Merc, I feel like, the Merc was extremely dominant. But I'm looking for all-wheel drive. That's just my... Well, I don't know, honestly. The all-wheel drive cars in this game understeer so bad. Maybe it's not worth it. When we got an Audi... I mean, I doubt we have any DTM stuff from this area. We got the TTLM edition, which I presume is not powered by VR6. And the R8R. Okay, so that's kind of cool. I'm not... Honestly, like, the V12 LMR is cool. But... You guys know me. I'm a VW group guy. So the R8C can be unlocked. And the R8R is available at the Audi dealership for 2 million. The R8C is unlocked after an endurance race, a special stage Route 5. So, probably won't be seeing that car anytime soon, honestly. Because I quite frankly don't really have the patience to do that right now. I don't even know if I could. I need like an extra mil. And I hate that because I really want like the R8R. I think I'm still going to get the V12, the BMW, just because it's free. But I just need to build a car that can go that fast. So let's see. We've got the Merc. We've got the Audi, the Opel, and the Vauxhall. We don't really have an option from Audi. I could probably give the TTLM edition, but I think I'd rather get something a little bit more focused. Like a true DTM car. And again, I'd like it to be an add-in from them. And the TTLM edition is a original GT2 car. And presumably the 180, and I'm a VR6 guy personally. Let's see. Lister, the Storm, maybe? Is the Storm race car in the game? Or is it just the road car? Oh, it's the GTS. Okay, so this is the race car. That raced, presumably, in, I believe, the British touring car. 2 superchargers. Okay, it's twin supercharged. That's kind of cool. Let's see. I don't know. I'm like kind of leaning towards the Merc. I want to check real fast. I'm 99% sure that's an add-in. It is. So the C-Class DTM and the CLK DTM, which is in German Nationals too. That's just the road car. It's the DTM prototype. So I think I am going to wind up... I think just for sake... I know I hyped up a lot about all-wheel drive. I think I'm going to get the C-Class DTM, and that'll be our kind of higher aero car for the moment. DTM is just kind of more my thing anyway versus like Super GT or JGTC. So That'll probably be a really solid car to run. What's our numbers on it? I didn't even get a good look at the power on it. 401 horsepower, so it definitely needs a bit of work. Needs some power for sure. Hopefully this thing won't be like super overkill. I'm so torn about whether to keep the F40 or not. I worked so hard for it in the last stream that I did on this game, but I'm so disappointed in it. Other than using it for like the high speed races, but I do need like some quick cash. I hate to do it. I didn't like driving that car anyway, honestly. I just needed some quick cash. I did not like the GT, honestly. The GT40 was so bad, and plus, like, it was okay once it got up to speed, but, like, when you were at low-speed tracks, like, I don't know, Seattle, for the most part, Seattle, in the mid-stage of Seattle, it drove terrible. Let's see, is this car turbocharged? I don't think it is. Okay. I can't remember if this is a V6 or if it's a 4-cylinder, because I know the 190s were all 4-cylinder. I'm pretty sure it's a V6. Okay, you can't do any NA stage tune-up. Is this car completely unmodifiable? Because this car was among the faster cars in that group. In that 582 horsepower class. But you can't do anything to it. Love that. I just spent all my money on a 400 horsepower car I can't even build. That's unfortunate. Should have just bought the Alpha. Who knows? Maybe it'll prove me wrong here. But that... I'm kind of kicking myself now. The whole point was to get something that would be extremely competitive off rip. And I don't think I'm going to get that out of this car, honestly. I mean, I'm going to try. Because I do want that BMW V12 LMR. But 582 horsepower with a 400 horsepower car is a giant deficit. I mean, that's probably a Mark III GTI deficit. We're going to put it on the Super Softs. Our best chance at winning this, honestly, is going to be on these sticky tires. But I am kind of kicking myself a little bit. I kind of wish I'd bought the Alpha because I can't do anything to this car. And I'm pretty sure I can at least add power to the Alpha. Alright, please prove me wrong, beat Mercedes. I'm hoping this thing proves me wrong. I mean, Mercedes was really dominant in DTM, so I'm like really hoping that it's a very high revving engine. I'm running the bumper cam for now just because I tend to drive better with it. Even though I won't lie, it's kind of making me a little nauseous. A little bit understeer there. So get on the inside of this roof? Is that a roof? How do you get that? 996 race car. That's kind of cool. Oh, come on. Don't spin out there. That was the S4's favorite spot to crash on this track. I remember how much of a pain the S4 was in that specific spot. Okay, well, so far the Merc has proven me wrong, as I had hoped it would. So we're now in the lead. Okay, apparently my bumper is just a battering ram now. That Audi TT tried to Daniel Kvyat at me. Tried to torpedo me a little bit there. I really wish I could remember what engine was in this. I know the 190E was a 4-cylinder. A lot of the DTM cars in the late 90s were V6, like the Calibra and the Alpha. Pulling a tiny gap. This thing actually handles probably the best out of the cars I've driven in recent memory. Only that sucks is I feel like racing the GT500 cars, this thing is going to be so sluggish, but I feel like running maybe the GT300 Cup with this thing, I'll be fine. All in all, it's proven me wrong, which I really hoped for, because I had zero faith in this car, honestly, at first. I thought this thing was going to be trash. Not getting to modify it at all, like, with the level being 582 in the horsepower scale, like, I was like, this thing is going to be so slow with just 400 in comparison to the competition. But luckily, it put me in a grid of cars that also can't be modified, presumably, unlike, except for the two LM edition cars we've got running today, the Beetle and the TT. Actually, if I remember, I couldn't modify the Beetle, and I presume TT won't be much different in that regard. But they do kind of catch me on the straights a little bit. This car definitely does not have the straights as a friend. Having to kind of rely on this car in the corners to pull away, which is fine because it's got a lot of grip. I just took that flat out, which I haven't been able to do in a car in this game in a long time. Alright, into turn one. Gonna keep the revs kind of high with this one. It's definitely got a lot of up, like, you know, top end torque. A little bit of air there. The TT's getting a run on us a little bit here. I'm gonna try to hold him off, but I understeered into the wall a little bit there, so not quite. Got a good run up on the TT here. See if I can get back around him before the end of the tunnel. The Mercedes may not have a whole lot of top end speed, but it's definitely very useful. It's got plenty of grunt, honestly. Let me know, guys, in the chat if the game is too loud and it's overpowering me, because I will turn it back down. I just turned it back up so I could help you guys hear the text-to-speech a little bit better, as well as the car or the game and all that stuff. I don't want to make it too quiet, but it may be overpowering me slightly looking at the volume bars. Dang, okay, that's not good. Don't let me choke this on the last lap. This is a fairly lengthy race. Oh, goodness. Of course, last lap. Every time. My phone is ringing. I can only imagine it's my fiance calling me. It is. I'm trying to get back around this TT. Oh, late move. I think that bump just completely screwed me. I had him to. That's crazy. Another time this whole series I've lost in the last lap. Oh, that's frustrating. I have to reset that one too. We're not doing well tonight, guys. F40 was being problematic. Swapped over to the R33 GTR All-Tech. Couldn't drive that either, and now I'm struggling with the Mercedes to win. I just and I really wanted this one because this is the V12 LMR is sitting on this one, so We'll retry it. I think I'm going to keep going until I get that car, honestly. And I think, honestly, we could get it pretty easily. That last lap was a bit of a stinker. Annoyingly. Yeah. Doing a quick check. See what's going on. My fiance was a little worried. Alright. Round 2. Hopefully this time won't be a stinker. I can take this one home. Alright, grid's a little different this time. We have the CLK DTM prototype out here with us. Excuse me. A little bit of a cough there. And that roof is back. And we've spun it. Okay, we're just going to restart. We're really struggling tonight, guys. I don't know what's going on. We haven't taken a single race win. I'm honestly just going to say, I'm just going to go ahead and make excuses that it's because I haven't played this in so long. And I'm playing on a controller for like on a sim, quote unquote, for the first time in like months. Because there's no way this would work with my Fanatec. But it is rough night for your boy. And I mean, last night was rough too. I was struggling in iRacing. I don't know what's going on with me all this week. I've been on the struggle bus. Alright, grid's pretty much the same. I see the roof. We got the CLK DTM prototype. And the E30 BMW. We got the Beetle LM edition. And the TT running up front. So, pretty identical grid to last race. Last attempt. The one that I finished, not the spin. What in the world is going on with these cars? There's no way I should be spinning out this much. Do I restart again? I mean, it's 5 laps, and as long as I'm pretty good, I think I can catch, but, like, bruh. I don't know what is up with this game, and just terrible physics, honestly, in comparison to modern games. Like, going off in the grass in a modern game, you would still spin out, but it would be a lot easier to catch before then. In this game, it's just like you're driving on freaking oil-slicked ice. I don't think slipstreaming is a thing in this game. I'm gonna try that maneuver. A little bit of a slingshot past the roof. Going into turn 1, gonna slam the brakes hard. We've already pretty much caught up, so good recovery from our little spin. The bumps got this thing a little upset there. Alright, we just need to gain up on the other Mercedes and the TT, which is looking like I'll be able to do right here. Would've, but went for that wall. That is going to be the Beetle getting back around us here. That spin definitely added some work. Again, I don't think slipstreaming is really a thing in A-Spec. Love when I hit the shift button and it doesn't shift. See, I lose so much confidence in this game. Okay, yeah, that's it. Dude, what is going on with me lately? I cannot drive. Like, I'm struggling with this. I was struggling with iRacing last night. It's really frustrating because I'm trying to make progress in this game, and the only way to make progress is to win. So it's like, and for some reason, these cars are just so skatey. Like, these physics have not aged well, honestly. Really frustrating. So the only car that can handle good in this game is the Caterham. But it's like so many of these cars are darty under braking. Like, you hit the brakes and they just dart. Some of them are super understeery. Some of them just will bounce around. Like, and it's not even like the developer's fault for A-Spec. This is just something that's all around GT. This is GT2's physics model is just so difficult to grasp for me, especially as of late. Like, that's why some people are like, oh, come on, like, what the heck is that? It's like you barely touch the control stick and it just kind of has a mind of its own. These repeated incidents are definitely adding a lot more difficulty than it should be. Oh, come on. Seriously? I can't, this is getting really frustrating. Like, it couldn't corner before, and as soon as I enter that turn, it just darts at the wall. Like, it's so, the physics in this game are so inconsistent. Like, it's killing me. And everyone's always like, dude, you're such a bad driver in this game, dude. You suck. And I'm like, I can't fathom bad physics, old physics. Like, my brain works pretty much with modern physics only, and even then I still struggle. Like, I never really can't even say the physics are just bad, they're just old. Physics have come a long way in racing games. Like see, just there, I barely lost any speed and the car went from understeering to immediately darting into the grass. Like, it's almost like the grass has magnetic pull. I know I'm complaining a lot, and I'm trying not to because this mod is still legendary. And it may just be straight up rust because it's been so long since I played this, and this is a pretty high level race, but like, I'm struggling right now to figure out how to get the grip of these cars. Don't you spin. Alright, we got 2 more laps. See if I can muscle this back. We've caught up with the main group of cars. It's a Beetle 1-2 right now, which is the VW guys. Nice to see. Need a really good run through here with minimal AI intervention, and we get a lot of AI intervention. There's that beetle parked right where I was trying to go. A little bit of a Daniel Ricciardo maneuver there. Had a real hard time getting a grip through that corner. We only got one position out of it, but I'd rather finish in third than fourth. I'm gonna not win this race again. Not the time for this thing to start losing grip again. Come on. This car is fairly quick through here if I can keep it off that inside wall that for some reason is resulting in the car just coming to an immediate halt. And the rock wall, which just... It's either I hit that inside wall or I hit the rock wall. It's really hard. It's a really fine line. Alright, if he doesn't park it in the middle of the lane, I can probably get past him here. But I have a feeling he's going to park it in the middle of the lane. Had a good run up, but apparently I just suck. Like, I can't win these races apparently. Which is really demoralizing. I'm trying to progress, like I said, but I really don't know, guys. It's a rough couple days for me on these games, which again is a real shame because aside from just not meshing well with these physics, like, this is a good game. This is a fantastic mod. I still give huge praise to the guys who made this mod because it is no small feat, this project. So but these physics just don't work with me very well. Being very much into modern sim racers and just playing a lot of those, playing a lot of Gran Turismo, playing a lot of, or GT7, I should be more specific, playing iRacing and LMU and all that stuff. The physics in this game are so just vast from those. So that's why I'm always like, when people are like, oh, dude, you suck at these old Gran Turismo games. You can't drive. It's terrible driving. I remember I got a pretty nasty comment during Plus because I was struggling with the S4. It was actually, if I remember correctly, it was probably this race, honestly, that I'm now on my like 5th attempt of. And like, it's not that I'm a bad driver. It's a physics model that my brain just does not work with because, you know, I didn't play this game when I was a kid either. So, you know, this physics engine is vastly unfamiliar to me. Off to a rather slow start, but I'm just trying to be consistent and keep this car from spinning because I feel like as long as I can do that, we're fine. Make up some positions here. Got a good run on this Calibra. See, that Mercedes just jerked across the road. I kind of used that Mercedes to slow me down without having to use my brakes. But apparently that makes you fall back to 5th place. The Mercedes was parked right where I was trying to go and lost a little bit of speed out of that. We're in a second. Just need to keep this exact pace up, this exact rhythm. trying to avoid that rock wall, but easier said than done. That's going to give them all a huge run on me. I don't know how I keep falling behind right into this corner. Huh. That worked out. A little bit of grass cutting, but nothing too dramatic. Extremely late on the brakes there, but it worked out. I'm starting to build a tiny gap. Let's see if I can just keep the same rhythm up, work on that corner with the rock wall. It'll be a fine. I hate it. We've been streaming for almost a full hour now, and if I win this attempt, it'll be the only win we've had tonight, which really sucks. I hit the rock wall pretty hard there. Not really much I can do on that one, it seems like, because I'm too scared to put it closer to the left, closer to the inside of that corner, because I'm afraid it's going to clip that wall and the car's just going to come screaming to a halt again. But now that we're leading into this corner, I can take it however I need to and have to worry about AI interference, because I just pull away in that corner. I've got the final corner down to a science. It's that midsection of the track that seems to be really problematic for me. See, repetition has helped me out a lot here, because I'm actually starting to get the hang of this game again for the first time in a while. See what I'm talking about the walls, though? Like, come on. Seriously, now? Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, I can't. This game is like making sure I can't win or something. It's just determined. It's like my 5th attempt at this race. And the car's got it in it. I really don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Like, now I've got a lap and a quarter maybe to go, and I fall into 6th place. I need like a crazy good run through this corner. And luckily I got it. Okay, that was exactly what I needed right there. What a lap. Holy cow, that was... Oh, man, that was a Vikings comeback right there at the end there. I thought that was it. I thought we were going to a 6th attempt at this race. That last lap was just magical. That was exactly what we needed. Glad I'm done with that. Honestly. Like, that was getting really annoying. Like, angering. Glad that's over. The car isn't bad. Like I said, the game isn't even bad. It's just the physics and my don't play nice with each other. You know, like, I'm hoping that my spirits will be turned around as the night goes on, because we've been streaming for an hour and that's the first race we've even let alone finished this whole night. But we just got the cheat code. So, one of the best cars probably in the game. Which I believe this car also has an RM for some reason. And I've got the cash to throw at some good tires for it. Oh, what's the power on this thing? So, it makes 578. So this car is actually eligible for a lot of events. Which is great. Oh, that's huge for me. Let's check out that tune shop. I want to see what all can be done to it, because I imagine the RM for this car is absurd. Costs 15 grand. I'm not entirely sure what it does. Considering the car's already a race car. I'm just going to do it just for fun. Oh, it needs weight reduction stage 3. Didn't realize this car would actually have weight reduction work. I have to do it in order, yeah. I'm curious what this is going to do. I almost want to make this car just ungodly good at this game. I hope it does. Like, it's just a faster Caterham with better aero. Like, I'd be pretty happy. I mean, the RM's only 15 grand, so that's nice. And, like, I don't really care all that much if it breaks that crazy reg cycle. Like that 582 regulation. But okay, no turbo kits. Lame. Maybe we'll be able to do some stuff with the NA side, considering it's a naturally aspirated engine. Nothing there. I think we may be limited on power, much like most of the other race cars in this game. That does appear to be the case. Which is unfortunate. Yeah, there's nothing else we can do. I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure this already has all the compounds, tires, as that's kind of the norm. It is the case. Okay, well, nothing really else we can do. We've done the weight reduction and gotten the RM for this car. It's an RM already on a race car. We should be able to go and put the hurt on some people now, though. Pretty easily, honestly. So, what are the regs for the GT500 Championship? It's 591 horsepower, so we could do this with the V12 LMR. Laguna, Super Speedway, Rome, Trial Mountain, and Apricot Hill. It's a fairly good lineup of tracks as well. Let's go for it. I think put the super softs on this car, we should be able to just absolutely crush this event. Definitely don't want the simulation tires on this thing. Alright. Let's rebound from last night on the iRacing stream and so far today on this one. Get some good results. Okay, was not prepared for the rolling start. Holy cow, this thing is very grippy, has a lot of turn in. This is the first time I've driven the V12 LMR since, like, the beta version of this game that I was given to test. Like, before it even originally released. I mean, I kind of hope I can pull a gap on these guys because this is an LMP car racing a bunch of Super GT cars. Oh my goodness. That was some air. More on the brakes there, they're probably necessary. And if I remember correctly, during the development build I played, I don't even think it was the RM variant. I think it was just the normal LMR. So going to the RM variant is a little nuts. I will say this car handles much better than all the other cars I've experienced so far. Just a shame I can't add more power to it to make it a bit more competitive in some of the higher horsepower events. Yeah, this thing is way better. This is a bit of a cheat code. This is what I needed, honestly. Like a really good handling car after driving understeer, the unpredictability of the F40, and how easily unsettled the Mercedes was. And the extreme understeer of that R33 All-Tech. This car seems to have exactly what I needed in terms of a driving characteristics. It's got a lot of turn in, not a lot of oversteer. That's kind of how I like cars to drive, is, limited oversteer, but a decent bit of turn in. Which, I mean, in practice, in real life, very difficult to do. I'm not saying you need like Max Verstappen levels of turn in, where the car just shouldn't be difficult for anyone but him to drive. But, see, we understeered a good bit there. But not anywhere close to as viciously as, the F40 or even the All-Tech. I still think the S4 from GT2 Plus that, I was crapped on so much for using for so long, still drove better than that F40 does. In every way except the straights, obviously, as the S4 gets clapped in the straights by that car. That car runs like 250 miles an hour or something like that. Alright, so far we've got a pretty large gap. I think part of the thing too, I've learned a bit of this game supported like analog triggers as the gas and brake. I probably have a much easier time with throttle modulation. Instead of having to like Ayrton Senna throttle technique this thing. So they're spam the cross button over and over again. I guess technically since I'm playing on the Xbox controller, it's the A button. But not my preferred way of throttle modulation, but that's just got to be how I do it in this game. And see, this car is driving how I wished the Mercedes drove, and the F40 I feel like was, no chance that it was going to drive like this, but would have been really nice if it did. Still have it, at least, so maybe there could be some adjustments either within A-Spec, since that was an add-in car, or even if I can figure out tuning in this game properly to try to clean it up. It's just got a lot of low-speed understeer and a lot of high-speed oversteer. That's my issue with the F40, which was the polar opposite with the S4. It was just understeer all the time. This, on the other hand, is a treat. LMR is definitely an A+ for me right now. I'm very happy with it. Very impressed with the handling. I think so far, like just based off of this car, like my two favorites A-Spec add-ins have been this and the Caterham. Of course, I tried this car during the development period of this game, and I loved it then, so I kind of figured I'd love it here too. A little unsettled there, so go through the corkscrew. I still stand by that this handling model, this physics model for Gran Turismo 2 has not aged well. And if you're used to modern sims, stuff like even GT7, it's going to feel like a completely different world. Even GT3 feels different than this enough to warrant a learning curve. I can only imagine people who went playing from played Gran Turismo 1 and 2, which the physics models are relatively similar, to go into Gran Turismo 3, and then to like GT5. Like, because GT4's physics model was also pretty different, but not, like, I don't know. To me, it doesn't feel that much different than 3, but there are probably people who've played more hours in 4 than I have. Which, I mean, I've put a lot of playtime into GT4. I mean, I've done 2 playthroughs of it on this channel alone. But, you know, like, I've played a lot of Gran Turismo 3 and 4. And the physics, to me, don't feel that different. But I can only imagine how much of a jump it is from Gran Turismo 2 to 3 in terms of physics. And then to go, in my case, playing Gran Turismo 7 a lot lately, which I'm going to talk about that later, honestly, why I've not posted anything on that in a while. I talked about it in the iRacing stream, but since we're actually playing a GT game, maybe it's better for me to expound upon that here. But like in iRacing and stuff, to going back to Gran Turismo 2's physics, you guys got to cut me some slack. And cut me some slack for calling the physics trash earlier. The physics aren't bad. They're just old. And I've played a lot of modern racing games, so of course I'm not going to get the physics yet. Alright, Super Speedway. My favorite version of this track. It is a real bummer that they did not reuse this kind of layout with Super Speedway and GT3. I know why they did it in GT4. It moved to Motegi. Got the call on that one. But this is just sick right here. You guys gotta agree with me on that. The awning is like such a cool concept, and I really hate it was not kept for Gran Turismo 3. Not to say that Gran Turismo 3 layout sucks, because it's good. And how it looks is good. And by layout, I don't mean the track layout. It's identical. But in terms of the what's the word I'm looking for? The theming. I prefer this variant of the track way more. So this being the GT500 Championship, some of you may know better than me just because I you know, didn't grow up able to watch JGTC or even Super. Well, I mean, it's really hard to watch Super GT in America anyway. But do they do an oval race? Like, is this a reference to some sort of oval race at Motegi in the real life race series? See, now that I'm in a car I can drive, I'm having fun again. Like, I was getting real frustrated earlier, and now I'm back to having fun. I knew this would happen. Like, the Caterham was finally starting to get outclassed. I didn't have any cars to really keep up with these things. The F40 was doing me a huge disservice, being extremely difficult to drive, and I couldn't use it in that race there to get this car. Because if I could have, I would have. I wouldn't have bought that DTM Mercedes. And the Merc, aside from how it responds to the bumps, drives pretty well. I just really needed something a bit more power that I could be, I guess, over competitive in this case. And across the line. So now we're on a roll. After how much of a struggle the iRacing stuff was, and this was at the beginning, like, we're finally moving, which is nice. All right, moving on. Yeah, race 3 of 5, I think. I think there's only 5 races in this. 50G a pop 2 is great. I am glad that a lot of the races in the National Series this car will be able to compete in. I want to look into some more streaming overlays too for this. I want to get like where it reads out the chat on screen, like stuff like that, because I've got text to speech already enabled here. But I would love to have a bit more functionality with that. All right, let's make some moves pretty quick in a lap here. Rome is one of my favorite tracks from the classic GT games. So I'm really excited to be on this one. Ah, come on. See, again, throttle modulation would have been nice to have there. First and second gear in this thing are a little tricky. Ooh, big crash. Yeah, this thing is great. Like, first and second gear a little tricky, so I have to be real careful on that low speed sector of this track. But the medium to high speed, this car handles so good. Get a third gear there. That helped out a lot. And it bogs the car down, but it really helps in the grip department, so maybe the move with this one. Could almost go flat out there. A little squirrely there. All right, entering lap 3. Making ground up pretty good here. And my morale is being restored more and more. Brakes way too late. This thing is a treat, though. I'm having a lot more fun with this than I've had with any of the other cars, minus the Caterham, honestly. The Caterham is pretty close to this. The handling model for this car literally feels like they just took the Caterham, added a bunch of power to it, and sent it on its way. It's got that same just absurd amounts of grip. I can only imagine how the F1 cars will be like. Which, as much as I want to use during the main playthrough of this game, like, my heart is telling me that that's too much of a cheat code. And that at most, this will be the car I run for GTWCs. As fun as it was during Plus to use an Evo to take out the Toyota GT1 in that series, I think I'd want to keep it more, like, I guess more realistic to what that race series would be like, and run an LMP car, which would be this one. Yeah, I'm struggling to master that one, that corner. A little skatey. All right, one more lap. We've pretty much just run away with this one. beam the wall real hard right there. Probably needed to dab the brakes right there, but I did. And that's a win. Heck yes. This is nice, being able to rebound after how rough of a start this stream was. So we got 2 more races. I think, what was one of them? I think Trial Mountain and Apricot Hill is what we have left. We're just absolutely running away with this. I feel like I win one more race, I could take the last race off, but I don't really know if that's a thing like it is in GT3.
Car Guy 350 said she is fast.
Yeah, this thing is actually really fast. I'm pretty happy with this one in comparison to the F40 and the Mercedes and the Autech so far tonight, and obviously the S4 from Plus. Which again, is still find ironic that I still crap all over that car, knowing dang well that my current build idea for a project car for me is a B5 Audi, but not an S4. I think for what I wanted to, holy air, that was straight out of 1999 Le Mans. Holy cow. That was almost a Peter Dumbrick level air time. Or I guess Mark Webber, he had the same issue. I'm going to Trial Mountain and get a Flux Plats. Holy cow. What I want to do, I feel too bad chopping up an S4 to do, so probably want to do it in A4. That's something I got to figure out life before. I got a lot of things, a lot of stress about my future, post-marriage, post-wedding. I should say not post-marriage. My marriage was going to go on forever, but post-wedding. Been dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety over that lately. Just the wedding, not so much. The aftermath, but you know, being an adult, adulting. Holy air. Anyway, on to more positive thoughts. This thing is killing it. This is way better than that freaking F40, holy cow. It's a shame. This is like the one game that I've ever played that I don't like driving the F40. Because in GT7, I drive the snot out of that car. I don't ever race it online and stuff, but sometimes I'll just boot up a lobby and just drive it. Not even a lobby, like a time trial, like a free run. And I'll just drive it. One, because it's fun to do in VR, two, just because I like that car. Like, the F40 is my favorite Ferrari. Yeah, third gear is where this car seems to be the most happy. It's not quite so vicious on snap oversteer in third gear. It helps a lot with the grip department to just kind of hold it in the third. Dang, that was a really fast run through that S. Air. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh. That was sketch. Also, I hope you guys enjoy the new mic quality. I talked about it during the first iRacing stream. when I built my new PC, I bought a motherboard, a used motherboard, which that car guy specifically might know about because he follows me on Instagram and got to watch me talk about this. I bought an open box motherboard for my new PC setup, and it was turned out to be a dud, a complete dud of a motherboard. So when I took it back, I got what was it, $120 something back for that motherboard. I'd already replaced it with the X670, I think it is. It's in the description. Motherboard I have now, and I was like, well, I'm in here. I might as well just use some of that money, that kind of credit I got back from that dud of a motherboard, towards a new headset. So I bought a new headset because that ROG headset I had was very tired.
350 said yeah.
Yeah, that car guy follows me on Instagram, so he knows, he gets to see all the fun stuff that not only for this channel, but my main channel and just life in general with me. So if you guys haven't followed that my Instagram, it is VDubbin with Jordan. Not VDubbing, VDubbin. Oh, 360. No worries. It's at this point, we've got such a gap. One spin, it wasn't really a little spin. One spin isn't going to end my race at this point like it would have earlier, which is why I was getting so irritated. Because it's not hard to spin a car out in GT2. Let's just be real. I wish the B12 LMR was in GT7. It's like I just had an excellent video idea, and I may wind up doing it. Well, can't really do it for the F40 either, because the F40 wasn't in GT3 or 4.
Dead Car Guy 350 said that wheel spin though.
Yeah, this thing's got quite a bit of wheel spin. Oh, bump there. Not the best lap, but oh, we still got one to go. Okay, I thought that was lap 5. I just wasn't paying attention to the counter. I don't think the controller reacts fast enough to go through that complex. Okay, well, that corner seems to really hate me tonight. This track in Deep Forest is just how bumpy they are. It really does not play nice with this physics model. And a third. You know what's sad? I made that reference to the 1999 Le Mans. Isn't that the one this car won? I would know. It happened like 2 months before I was even born. I could look up the results though. I don't know why I said that. Google is a thing. Alright, absolutely put the doors, put the freaking buses on that Ray Brick NSX. Little update last night, if you guys watched the iRacing stream, I developed some extreme pain in my right knee, and I thought it was maybe like a muscle cramp. Whatever it is way worse than a muscle cramp, because a momentary muscle cramp, because it has been an issue for me all day. That's why part of the reason I decided to stream this tonight, other than I promised you guys I would do an A-Spec stream at some point. But I have been in a very large amount of pain this whole stream, so yay me. Alright, I think this is the last race. We're at Apricot Hill. I don't know why it keeps defaulting to bumper cam. Alright, 5 laps Apricot Hill. This is a track that I have never been relatively good at. Big drift there, holy cow. DK would be very proud of that. Apparently, I can halfway drift an LMP car in GT2. Come on. It bewilders me how many cars can brake at the 50-meter mark for these corners.
That car guy 350 said same thing. LOL. I hurt my Achilles tendon and missed out a whole week of work.
Goodness, yeah. I hate that for you. I hope your Achilles heals relatively soon and you're back in action. Must be, well, no, there's not that much of a delay on the stream. I have the stream running on my phone. Kind of monitor stuff. Alright, lap 2. Which I've always done. That's a weird habit of mine that I've always done since I started streaming, was have the stream pulled up on my phone. I'm going to try on Sunday to stream this again. I noticed last time I did a Sunday morning stream, that was when it was like its most active. So it might be the move again on Sunday morning. Which is ironic, but I guess at the same time, being East Coast, most families aren't in church around that time that go to church. In other parts of the world, I guess, and here even in the US. It's just a southern thing, I guess. But last time I did a Sunday morning stream, it popped off, so might bring this back on Sunday morning for another stream, episode 7. I'm gonna keep going with this probably for another hour or so. I want to make some serious progress in this because I'm not gonna lie, I want to get this game done relatively soon, so I can jump back on to GT3. Because I talked about this before, I'm moving all of the retro content to live streams, so you guys can be more involved and, you know, play part into my decision making with some of these cars, and, you know, even with tuning and stuff like that. A lot of these older games especially, I don't have vast knowledge on setup.
Dat car guy 350 said pray in the morning and race in the afternoon Sunday.
Yes, sir. But my intention is to put the retro GT titles on a pedestal for live streams only. I think that's probably just me. My methodology from here on out is just going to be the retro games will all get live streams. So one, that they're featured for longer terms. I mean, it sucks not having like multiple episodic videos, like 20, 30 videos to watch. But I feel like the fact that I typically do my streams about at minimum an hour, the length of 2 episodic episodes kind of deal, 2 video episodes. I think I'd rather do that and you guys be involved and be able to take part in my decision making, what cars I buy, what races I do, and all that kind of stuff. So that's just gonna be the move, because I did it for a while where like I would play GT4 and then I would stream Forza Motorsport 4, and while that was fun, I think I'd rather do all of them in live stream format and save like GT7 and LMU, and maybe even a little bit of iRacing. I think LMU and iRacing will probably also be mostly live stream exclusives, except for like the onboard videos I did for a while on R-Factor, bringing those over to iRacing and LMU, and obviously with GT7. Once I get more heart to go back to that game, I talked about this in the iRacing stream, and I guess what better time to harp on it than right now while I'm talking about content. I have become entirely disheartened with GT7. Like, I have no desire to play it right now. Like, I'm upset with how the updates have been. Like, just, there's been no, like, you know, listening to the community from Polyphony. They just kind of been doing whatever they feel like doing. And granted, GT7, as much as I love it, I mean, I've got almost 1,000 hours in that game, it still hasn't gotten the chokehold on me mentally that games like Gran Turismo 3 and 4 have, and 5 and 6. Like that PS2, PS3 era that I grew up with. GT7 still hasn't done it for me in that regard. And while I've seen lots of success, I mean, like especially in league racing and all, like even in Gran Turismo's own league stuff, I mean, the Exhibition 1 series that happened earlier this year, I was number 3 in my state. Like, I was among the very best in my state of GT7 players in my division. So it's a game that I love, but I've just become so disheartened with it, and just I don't have the same attachment to it I do as the older games, where even with their flaws, I still love them. Like, GT3's car roster is so minuscule, and I still love it. GT4's handling model isn't my favorite, but I still love that game. I mean, GT5's campaign wasn't that great, but I still love that game. GT6 even less so. But I just haven't gotten that level of attachment where I can look over every flaw of GT7, and with the updates just getting worse, it just, I got too disheartened. I lost interest in playing it, and then the last update broke force feedback wheels entirely. And as a force feedback player in GT7, that just completely sealed the deal. I'm gonna go back to it, because I always do. I mean, there's a reason I have so many hours in GT7. But, I mean, right now I just have 0 heart in that game. Alright, we got the championship for the GT500 series, 200 grand. Okay, this thing takes forever. And we got a new car. I imagine it's something related to the series. Let's go see what we got, and I'm going to take a brief intermission. Looks like we dropped some frames, and I don't know when that would have happened. Alright, let's check out our prize car that we just got. We got the Takata Dome NSX. Is it Dome or Dome? I think it's Dome. I've heard people pronounce it either one. I want to say this is an add-in, but I don't think it is at the same time. Let's check the website real fast before I take this very brief intermission. Be under Honda. It is not an add-in. This is a original A-Spec car. So, alright, I'm going to take a brief intermission to go stretch. Like I said, my knee is hurting, so I'll be back in like maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
350 said Dime.
So, I'm going to take a brief break. I will be back in just a minute. I'm just going to leave this running. Alright, I am back. Alright. Let's get back to it. Oops, I did not mean to select the car. Get back to the BMW. We need that car.
Dat Car Guy 350 said enjoying the banger musical note.
I think I'm going to open the volume mixer back up and turn the game down a little bit more. I think the game is still a tiny bit loud over the chat. Put this back to about here. See, now it looks like it's way too quiet. Let's leave it about 52 out of 100. Alright. Let's see what's next. I'm probably going to keep this going for about another hour or so. Get pushed close to that 3-hour mark. Let's see, do we want to do another national event? I could go... I don't think there's really much we can do on the national front with this car. Let's see what the Super Troyan trophy is. It's 394 horsepower. Which this car is well beyond. Imagine the GT300 is about the same. Yeah, 394 horsepower. What is the All-Stars? It's free. Okay, there's no horsepower limit on the GT All-Stars. That might be where we take this car next. Is there a tuned NA Cup we could do? Okay, I've already done it. What's the other one there? The Station Wagon Cup. Does this count? Oh, 394 horsepower. Okay, so we really got to figure that out. Like, there's so many events that require 394 horsepower cars. Let's give another go to the Supercar Festival with the LMR, the V12 LMR, and see if we can get some progress on this with this car. The Quattro is the only thing that's actually won so far, I think. Unless I did that first race with the F40. I can't remember. I think it was with the Audi. The Quattro. Alright. See what this thing can do here. My knee is in agony right now, though. Alright, here we go. Autumn Ring, Supercar Festival. This, I think, was a complete add-in for this game by the A-Spec devs. You guys saw me do it before on Rome Night with the Audi Quattro. See how it goes with the BMW LMR here. So far, this car appears to just be a complete cheat code. Okay, these lower speed corners are really unsettling this thing. It's also extremely bumpy. I didn't realize Sebring was in GT2. I think at some point I'm going to do a game night on Discord, on the Discord server we have for my main channel, with Quiplash. If you're unfamiliar with what Quiplash is, it's part of the Jackbox games, and it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity almost, but you make up your own responses. It's kind of a fan favorite with my friend group and I. We typically will play it over here at my house. I'm thinking about bringing that, because I have the original Quiplash on Steam. I can screen share it on Discord. It wouldn't be streamed on YouTube or anything. It would be a private server-only game night. I'll probably propose that pretty soon. That could probably be something we do relatively soon on the Discord server. I don't have it linked here, but I could probably do that at some point, maybe in the chat here in a moment once I finish this race. I'll leave a link to the Discord server for anyone watching this stream and that wants to get involved in the Discord server. I mostly just post stuff about real life cars there because that server was designed around my main automotive channel versus this channel. But I do post a lot there. It's another good way as well to receive, you know, my videos if you guys have my notifications on but they don't work or something like that when you subscribe, like all that good stuff. That stuff, that server, I post every video I ever make on the server as a link. So I have a whole channel that's dedicated to it. Big spin. That's poor timed.
Dead Car Guy 350 said dark humor will kick in, probably face with tears of joy.
Oh shoot, yeah. Our humor is brutal. I'm not gonna lie, half the stuff that we say in Whiplash would probably get us canceled. So dark humor is like up the alley for that game. And it's not even me that says the bad stuff, it's my friends, really. It's not even just my friends that are bad. My family, when we play that too, my family is just as bad. If not worse than me sometimes. Like, oh, great. Come on. I'm going to short shift in a third, try to get some grip. I forgot I'm not doing the GT500 championship anymore, so it's like, how are they already caught up with me?
Dead Car Guy 350 said same honestly LMAO.
I'll probably post something about that in the Discord server. We can work out a time. I know Whiplash is like limited to like 8 people, so. Okay, we are all over the road. I hope the Texas Beach is working okay. I think it is. I mean, I've been seeing the volume bar going up whenever it goes off, so on OBS, so I imagine it's working. Okay, that corner is really killing me, and of course I would spin on the last lap. Luckily this thing is just absurd, so it picks up the pieces when I mess up. I'm going to keep it in third. Second seems to really upset this car. So I'm just going to kind of hold it in third. The bumps are really unsettling this thing. My cheat code is being out cheat coded by Gran Turismo Sebring. Well, we brought it back. It's okay. The LMR is officially a cheat code, honestly. Show Oxia. What is that? Oh, that's what was leading. I thought that was the Vector. The Vector was the orange car. Alright. I'm going to now post in the chat a link to the Discord server for those of you that want to be in it but aren't. Let me invite. We'll do never expires, so that way never goes away. I'm gonna pin it as well. Looks like that's gonna be easier said than done because my Discord is in stream mode, so it flat out it's like hidden the link so give me just a second with that. I'm going to go ahead and save while we're doing this because it's been so long since I saved. Okay, let me turn off streamer mode on the server. Okay. Find the chat. And there we go. Alright. So I posted under my main account.
VDubbin with Jordan. Said https://discord.gg/ku4k9.
I'm gonna see. Let me get back over to this. Restore chat. And pin message. There we go. Okay, so I posted on my main channel by accident, but there is the link to the Discord server. If you so desire to join it. So let me pull everything back up. It needs to be up. All right, let's go check out our prize car. I'm going to assume it's a relatively normal car. That, I guess, by GT2 standards. Alright, let's check out what we got. Let me just... I always hate these quick access buttons or thing, which I'm appreciative of, honestly. So, let's see. What did, before I scroll any further, what did, computer bless us with? It's the C1000, which I believe is a Mercedes. It's a low-tech C1000, which I believe is powered by a Mercedes engine. If I remember correctly, it's actually... I'll get there. I'm pretty sure it's based on the Sauber C9's engine, that V8 from the Sauber. Let me look it up. I don't want to lead you guys astray on this because I've always thought this car was neat, was interesting, but I know nothing about it other than it runs on a Mercedes powertrain. It was a one-off hypercar jointly designed, developed, and built by German automotive manufacturers Lotec and Mercedes. The 1000 in the name stood for the amount of horsepower it produced, which is ironic because it only makes 841 in the game. It is powered by an M117 V8 engine, which the M117 is used in the Sauber C9. Okay, so it is in the Sauber C9.
That Guy 350 said has that Mercedes look to it.
Yeah. So this engine, the M117, powered the 280 SE and SEL, the 300 SEL, the 450 SE and SEL, the 450 SL and SLC, the 450 SLC 5.0, the 500 GE, the 500 SE, SEL, and SEC, the 500 SL and SLC, the 560 SE, SEL, and SEC, the 560 SL, the Sauber C8, and the Sauber C9. And then a handful of other cars that are from some brand called Isdera and Monteverde, and then the Lotec C1000. So this is effectively a hypercar that is powered by a similar engine to the Sauber C9 and C11. Or C8 and C9, not the C11. As a 5-speed manual transmission. It's a very interesting car. So, doesn't make 1,000 horsepower in this though, which is odd considering the real car does make 1,000. Interesting. Okay, so we still have one more race in that series to do, so we're gonna jump over there and just polish off the Supercar Festival. We'll probably go to something else we can do. I'm trying to...
Julio Rochcato said nice machine.
Yes, sir. Alright, got Deep Forest. This track has been the bane of my existence tonight. So hopefully this goes better than it's been going, because this track has done everything it can to kill me.
Said top speed of 268.
Goodness. Yeah, see, my knowledge in the Lotec is so limited. I guess just because it was a one-off and no one really talks about it, so... Alright, Supercar Festival, final, technically this is the first race of the series, but it's been the one that's given me the most trouble. Is that the Chrysler ME412? That's not. The rear end looked very Chrysler ME412-ish, which of course as an American I'm familiar with, but that's not really because I'm American, it's because it's Top Gear. Or not Top Gear, I mean Nightclub 3. I was thinking of Top Gear as I said that though. I don't think the ME412 is ever covered in Top Gear. But I do think that's where I know the C1000 from. It's Top Gear. Alright, let's see what the LMR can do on the track that has been an absolute pain in my butt tonight. And it's doing the same thing all the other cars were doing. Ugh, man. This track has been my enemy tonight. Luckily, this car is kind of a cheat code, so I can catch back up. Because these supercars don't have the aero this does. They have the top speed. They do not have the aero. Low speed corners seem to be this car's Achilles heel, which it doesn't have a very big Achilles heel, but that if it had to have one, low speed corners definitely are it. As you guys have seen plenty tonight, this car and low speed corners just have not gotten along. And bumpy tracks, which Deep Forest is extremely bumpy in GT2. And as we've established, bumps in this game are death sentences of the strong majority of cars in this game. Especially these more higher powered race cars and with super.
Said aren't the car too low?
Ah, come on. Okay, he's stuck. Okay. Bye. Bro was like stuck in the wall. Yeah, this sector seems to really be killing this thing. I don't think the car's too low. This is the factory setting on the suspension. But it is definitely, these bumps are very unsettling to it. The F40 might have been a little low when I was driving that early in the stream. I mean, the wheels were clipping through the model on the F40. Yeah. A lot of these like original tracks in this game are just Sebring. It feels like how bumpy they are. If you've ever driven Sebring in real life or in a racing game, you guys know how bad it is.
Said easily catch up on the straights though.
Yeah, this car is ironically enough, despite only making like 570 horsepower, it reels in these cars that probably make more. See, I was a bit more cautious through the mid-sector, and I nailed it. Probably too cautious, but considering my abilities with this physics model, probably best. Yeah, this thing runs away in the straights. Goodness. We're building quite a gap. I love the little helmet. It's so funny to me. So I don't think there were any open-top race cars in this game originally, in the original release of GT2. Or I guess the Polyphony cut, if we want to call it that, since this is a not Polyphony's version of this game. I know why I was on the main channel on my computer when I typed that in the chat. It's because that's how I was doing the music earlier when I was doing the streams.
Said different class than BMW. Julio Rochcato said legend car.
It is a different class. I had high hopes for this, and like I said, I played with this car a good bit during the development phase of the game when Computer sent me access to the game during its development phase, like early on in GT2 A-Spec's development. And I had a blast with it, so I was like, that's a car I definitely need to have for the main playthrough of this game, and I have been very, very happy with it so far. It drives so good. like I said, the low-speed corners seem to be this car's Achilles heel, but I feel like the majority of high-power wheel-wheel drive cars in A-Spec and GT2 in general struggle with low-speed corners because there's no driver assists unless you put them there, and it's kind of difficult to modulate throttle in this game due to the standard controls being cross and square as gas and brake. You have to kind of like just sit there and blip the button over and over again. Oh, this is not a good time. That car is still stuck there. He's just chiseled himself into that tunnel wall. Being super cautious because it being the last lap, I do not want to choke this race. I want to be done with Deep Forest for a bit. Dubs. Oh, that was a shoddy lap. But, hey, I mean, it was still a win. That W2 is stuck on the wall. That's sad. I wish I could fast forward. I want to see what happened and how that even occurred. But it just, he just gave up. He hit the wall and he was just like, eh. Alright, what's our prize card going to be for this one? Any guesses? What do we think? I mean, it is A-Spec, and computer has put some serious sauce in this. Computer in the team, I should say. I put some serious sauce in that Supercar Festival. I mean, that is a cup they designed themselves and added to the game. Any guesses on what this is? I honestly will be surprised by it, whatever it is, probably. Let's see. All right.
Car Guy 350 said, "Bro, shut off the engine and put the e-brake on."
It's the Nazca C2 is our prize car. That Vector really did just give up. I don't. Okay, so it's definitely BMW related.
350 said Alfa Romeo.
It is definitely BMW related, as the BMW badge on the front and the kidney grills would suggest. What engine is in this? Okay, so it's a V12. I'd imagine this is probably the same engine that's in the McLaren F1. This is another one. This is actually a car I've never heard of. So let's do some Googling. Nazca C2. Plenty of the convertible existed of this. It's a concept supercar with low-profile aerodynamic silhouette and glass cabin. It's designed by Giugiaro. It has the 5-liter M70 B50 from the, I'm assuming a 7 Series of the era, and the Spider version of this car.
Rochcato said NSX made by BMW.
Pretty much. It has the S70 B56 in the Spider variant. So the M70 was used in the E32 750i and IL. It was mated also to the E31 850 and 850 Ci. So I believe that's also been put in this game. So this is technically one of 2 different variations that you can drive this engine.
350 said, "Sounds like oversteering waiting to occur."
Oh, all day. It's in the Alpina B12 and the Nazca M12. So what's the Nazca M12? I guess it's based. It was an evolution of the. So this is effectively an evolution of the M12 from 1991. The S70 engine, which is the engine from the C2 Spider, is the same engine of the F1. So the Spider variant has the same engine as the McLaren F1 and the E31 850 CSI. So that's pretty cool. And the S70 is also in the V12 LMR, so we've been driving this engine a lot lately already. I think for fun, let's just take this low-tech out for a drive. And let's see if we can update the tuning to make it actually make 1,000 horsepower like it's supposed to. I think the Nazca would be an absolute disaster in terms of oversteer. Let's see what we can do with the low-tech. Just out of curiosity, first thing I'm going to check is if there's a racing modification. There's not. I kind of figured so, but still worth looking. Alright, let's see. This engine is turbocharged in the real car. Okay, so there's only a stage 1 turbo option. Probably because if they put a stage 4 turbo in this thing, it'd make like 1,500 horsepower and probably just explode. I meant to go check for intercooler, but we'll just come here first. Might as well. Okay, no exhaust upgrades. No intercooler upgrades. Okay. Let's see what we got here. It looks like 991 is going to be where this car tops out. There's not really going to be anything we can add on here. About displacement. This thing's going to be crazy. I'm probably going to go ahead and put super softs on it just because I'm convinced this thing is going to just fly off the rails if I don't. Oh, it's already got them. Wonderful. That's really nice to have, honestly. What about brakes? Does this already have, like, good brakes on it? Can't upgrade them anyway. Okay, so this thing is about as upgradable as a race car, but it does have a tiny bit of a turbo upgrade. So let's go machine test. There's not really a way to just test this car, is there? And I have a very strong feeling that going with the arcade mode disc would result in some crazy glitches. So I'm not going to do that. Let's just find a free event we can run real fast. Let's go to Red Rock on the Sunday Cup. I just want to see how this car drives. This is as close to a time trial as we're going to get. This thing should be a bit of a monster, so... Oh man, you know what's crazy? When the needle for the tack goes off the chart. Goodness! Holy cow, it's fast. Oh, goodness. It's a handful. It is a big handful.
Dead Car Guy 350 said Hypercar vs daily drivers.
If you call an S15 Silvio a daily driver. Yeah, the handling is not much better than the F40, honestly. The understeer is nowhere close to as bad, but it's still, it flies off the rails really quick. Want to save? Oh boy, I'm all over the place.
Julio Rochcotto
Gosh dang.
said dream daily, but it is daily for some, haha.
This thing is absurd. Very fast. Very, very fast, but really difficult to drive.
Car Guy 350 said it's fast alright, but damn we oversteer LMAO.
Yeah, this is like the F40 without the understeer and way more oversteer. Like, it's just straight up oversteer central. Granted, I don't think I changed the tires. I think it's actually on whatever tires it started off with because I forgot to change them. So it could be on sports tires right now, for all I know. Or normal. I think it's on normal tires. I think that's what most of these cars default to.
Robbins said, I know we were mainly car gamers, but have you tried the new AC? It's super fun.
Assassin's Creed or Assetto Corsa? I guess Assassin's Creed. But that you said we're normally car gamers. I have not. I've never played Assassin's Creed before, and games like that have not typically been games I play for very long. I've heard good things about it though, and I have a lot of friends that do play Assassin's Creed. I think my brother plays it.
Julio Rochcotto said maybe if it could do, like, turns.
Yeah, if it could corner, it'd be really good. Unfortunately, cornering in this car are not friends. Well, kind of our halftime trial. Let's take out the other car, the Nazca. I'm not gonna add like anything to it though. I think the Nazca was just. I feel like the Nazca is gonna be even worse than this was, just because of the torque of that V12. It's not gonna be anywhere close to as fast, but I do think it'll be a bit of a handful. Keep this going about 25 more minutes. We'll probably, after we play around with the Nazca, go find the next event to take on. Just taking a recession from, not a recession, what's we're looking for? A recess. We'll just say recess from racing. A little bit of court speak. It's what I do for a living.
Julio Rochcotto said Nazca will be slower. Julio Rochcotto said FO show.
Let's go Tahiti Road this time.
Julio Rochcotto said oh just 300 HP.
Yeah, it's not very powerful.
Julio Rochcotto said Nazca is trash.
Well, I just be talking so much smack with the Nazca, and it drives actually really good. What is that sound? Oh. Okay. It's better once it's moving. Free revving, that was one of the worst sounds I've ever heard. That sounded like a freaking blender. Still sounds more like a V10 than a V12. But I'm going to attribute that to hardware limitations. It, ironically enough, handles really well. It is very slow in comparison to the low-tech, but in its defense, it's also making like a third of the horsepower of the low-tech.
Julio Rochcotto said sounds good though. Dat Car Guy 350 said oh. Julio Rochcotto said I like it.
It drives really well, actually. But again, I credit that to not making 900 and something horsepower.
350 said sounds like a blender.
Now that it's moving, it's fine, but that free rev was gross.
Said V12 with 300 HP, 1,700 weight.
Yeah, it's got the recipe to be a crazy good car. I mean, it's lightweight and 300 horsepower in a car that, you know, weighs as little as this does is pretty good. By standards of that time. I mean, obviously nowadays, if you were to look at, you know, something like this coming out today, people are like, oh, that's it out of a V12. Like, you know, if this were in the days of the Aventador when that first came out, and this car came out to go against it, people would be like, why would I buy that over the Aventador? Or even like a Murcielago. And I feel that's part of the reason you really don't hear about this thing, is it probably got outclassed by the Diablo. It's the only other V12 mid-engine car that was not the McLaren F1 that, you know, was on a comparable level of this. Granted, I think even the Diablo didn't make much more than like 400 and something horsepower, right? I mean, I know the Diablo GT was in the 5s, I'm pretty sure. I have to look again. Is it real drive or all-wheel drive? I'm not entirely sure.
350 said is it RWD or odd?
That was a Pajero Mini in that race. Yeah, that was surprising. I expected it to be oversteer central. I think it's rear-wheel drive. I'm going to double-check here in a second because we're about to switch out of this car anyway. But surprisingly drove well. I was kind of impressed with the handling on it, but I think, again, that can be mostly attributed to the fact that it makes 300 horsepower versus 990 or whatever the low-tech makes. And the F40, obviously.
Julio Rochcotto Said I don't think that's like some Lamborghini, I think that's comparable to NSX and Mitsubishi 2000 GT. Julio Rochcato. Said I don't know.
So, yeah, I mean, in terms of specs, in terms of like horsepower, it is close to the NSX and the 3000 GT. But I was only comparing it to the Diablo just because V12 mid-engined, that whole spiel. It is rear-wheel drive. Okay, so it is not all-wheel drive. It's pretty fair handling rear-wheel drive car. Let's jump back into the BMW LMR though. Let's go find our next event we're gonna do for the next 10 to 15 minutes, because it's pushing 10:30. Well, we'll be pushing 10:30 by the time we wrap this up. I need something with a high ceiling for horsepower, and I don't really see a whole lot. I can do a GT All Stars. Let's handle that. We'll go here first. Let's do another run at Super Speedway. This car, where they killed it.
Julio Rochcato. Said 2,200 pounds BTW, not 1,700.
Yeah, 2,200
Julio
pounds.
Rochcato. Said car is a turtle.
2,200 pounds isn't bad though for a V12 mid-engine sports car, supercar, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's actually some fairly decent numbers. Like, my Mark 7 GTI weighs about 2,900 pounds. So the fact that that car is a V12 and weighs less than my GTI by a pretty substantial bit, like, that's Miata levels in terms of curb weight. All right, we're just blowing everyone away here. I kind of expected this to be a bit more of a challenge, honestly. That's kind of why I jumped into the LMR for this. I fully expected like LMPs and stuff, like the GT1 to be here. Question, because some of you guys have probably played this before, and I've never done the endurance racing in this game. Does this game have tire wear? I feel like it does, but I have never done an endurance race in GT2. I had said we were going to do them as videos on Plus when I played through GT2 Plus, but I think I'm going to save those for this game.
Julio Rochcato. Said I used to farm this race over and over again.
Yeah, I could see this race being good for farming. When I was a kid and I played through Gran Turismo 3, because like I've said before, that was my first GT game.
Julio Rochcato. Said yes.
Okay, I assume that was in response to my tire wear question, so that's good to know. Gran Turismo 3, as a kid, I farmed the Sunday Cup version of this
Julio
race.
Rochcato. Said it's shittier than in GT4. Good luck.
Oh gosh, GT4's tire wear. Granted, I hate Gran Turismo 3's tire wear even more, because in the professional league races, if you're running anything softer than like the medium hard or whatever it is, or the medium slick, like before you get to the mediums, you're gonna run out by lap 5.
Dat Car Guy 350. Said on the endurance race it does have tire wear.
Okay, so yeah, we've got little people telling me now, so yeah, I'm gonna plan around that.
Dat Car Guy 350. Said I played the 99 lap one and it took a good time.
I'd imagine, like, okay, so I did an AI race on Gran Turismo 7 maybe about a year or two ago now. It was 100 laps at Road Atlanta. I'm sure at this point it's probably become a running gag about Road Atlanta and me. That's just it's my home track. I know it extremely well. It took about 2 hours, so I'd imagine that's how long that race would take, even with a good one.
Said think I only did hard tires for end.
Gotcha. That might be what I have to do with this one, honestly, which sucks because this car is on rails with the super softs. But I definitely think probably less advised to run the super softs and endurance in these older games where you can't change the compound. GT4, not that big of a deal because you can do compound changes. Even though this is what kills me with GT4. When you have like the Minolta, the best setup for that car is to run a mix of tire compounds. I think it's like racing softs on the front and hards in the back. And for some reason, that made the Minolta unheard of in the GT World Championship Series. And that's what I had to resort to when I played through this.
Said SS will last 5 laps max.
Yeah, I don't expect that. Okay, so we got the DB7 V12 TWR. I'm not entirely familiar with the TWR nameplate, but I do know what the DB7 is. It's actually, ironically enough, I hated this thing as a kid, but it's grown on me. Only the V12, though. The inline 6 variant, I still find it really odd that it had an inline 6 variant, but at the same time, every DB car before the DB7 was inline 6 only. The DB7 was the first V12 Aston DB car. So, not familiar with the TWR nameplate. Pretty cool car, though. Pretty good prize car for that event. Oops, I just hit a button. Let me fix that. Okay. I accidentally hit the Xbox button on my controller.
Said I used to farm GT Champ with Minolta on hards.
That is a good way to grind on 4, honestly, on GT4. Alright, let's move on to the next race in the All-Stars. I think we are very near, I think if not past, the longest stream I've ever done on this channel. Like within the next few minutes. Still dropping occasional frames, though. I'm not entirely sure why that's happening. Maybe just some Wi-Fi struggles, honestly. I think my brother's streaming something in the next room over, so that's probably eating some of the bandwidth for this. That's probably causing that. Alright. A little bit different of a grid this time. A lot of race cars. And we are back on Red Rock Valley, and that is the 850 LM edition. We were just talking about the 850 Ci, and there it is. An LM edition form, which was another car I tried out during the development of this game, of the A-Spec mod. And I remember thoroughly enjoying it. But the LMR completely crushes it. And
said, "Let's go, man. Stream is bigger now."
I noticed that too. We got a lot more people in here.
Said you talking more with us too.
I'm trying to keep up with that. I try to pay attention to chat.
Said much success, Jordan.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I try to pay attention to chat. You know, the advantage of my channel being the size that it is I'm able to do that. I've been, oddly enough, I've been on like a weird fix with the weather and watching like weather streamers like Ryan Hall and Max Velocity and stuff like that. I used to want to be a meteorologist as a kid, on top of wanting to be a race car driver as a kid. So I've been oddly enough watching those streamers and seeing how hard it is for them to keep up with chat because they've got 20-something thousand viewers, if not more. I think Ryan Hall had like 100-something thousand viewers on his last stream the other night. Like, that sucks to me because I love being able to interact with viewers, especially when they've got, you know, cool information for me or just general chatting. Like Paco in here earlier talking about Assassin's Creed.
350. Said hell yeah.
So, honestly, I hate because the chat, the stream is a lot bigger right now than it was earlier, and I'm only going to be doing this like another 30 minutes max. I would love to get this stream to the 3-hour mark just to say I did it, because I've never streamed for more than like 2.5 hours. Like, I don't expect to ever be able to make a career out of this channel. I really don't. I mean, I've been doing YouTube for 10 years on my main channel, the one that's currently got the pinned comment, or pinned chat here. That was where I started, and I've been doing that for 10 years, and it's never been a moneymaker for me. And, you know, when I was younger, that was my dream for that channel, and at this one at one point, was to kind of turn it into, you know, my job. But, you know, I've learned that if I'm going to do content, I need it to be for me and not for, you know, pursuit of making money. And I think that's part of the reason why, you know, I'm able to chat with you guys and enjoy it as much as I do, is because I'm not, okay, that was kind of a random surprise. I thought they were way farther behind me than that. Is I'm not taking it so serious, you know? I'm just doing this for fun, and I'm just kicking back and playing these games for you guys. I don't care about becoming a full-time streamer or some sort of influencer. I just want to have fun, play games that I love, and chat with you guys, like genuinely. Some of these spins are really killing me. Red Rock is still pretty bumpy as well. All right, we got around the other BMW here. He keeps up a lot better than the other cars, but I give credit. It's probably running the same engine model that this is, considering the real 850 Ci used the M70. I think it was only the CSI that got the S70 that would have been otherwise found in this car and the McLaren F1.
Julio Rochcotto said if you don't feel like it's fun, don't do it. I think a lot like that for working.
I agree with that. But like I said, I've done YouTube for fun for the last few years. I gave up on the whole, dream of going big and being the next big, YouTuber and creating, videos that make tons of money. I mean, I've stopped uploading on the main channel like how I used to. I used to do a lot of filler videos on my main channel because I was like, oh, the algorithm will keep suggesting me if I post like so frequently. And while that worked, I mean, I got lots of views during that time. I wasn't happy with what I was creating. And it's kind of the same thing with this channel, honestly, for a bit. I was trying to do the same thing for a while when I first started posting on this channel. Trying to post daily or semi-daily, and they were subpar videos.
Julio Rochcotto said living asterisk.
So, I am what's called a court reporter. And some people probably don't know what that is. The term's often synonymous with stenographer, but I'm not technically a stenographer because I don't use a steno machine. I pretty much take down court records and create court transcripts. If you've watched true crime shows, you'll see sometimes they'll pull like a piece of paper that has exactly what they said, and it's not like a closed caption format. That's a transcript for a court hearing, and that's what I do. I create those transcripts that you would see, in official court documentation, or in some cases, true crime. I worked a case a couple years ago that I would not be surprised to see on a true crime show one day. It was a pretty gruesome case. Unfortunately, I can't really give a lot of details on it on the air because it's currently in appellate status. So several defendants in that case are in appellate status. So it's a really interesting job, though.
Julio Rochcotto said I see.
Yeah, I worked in felony court for about a year or so, almost 2 years, and it just was too gruesome for me. That specific case.
Said you that girl writing everything on the corner.
Yes, except I'm a dude. Same job. I'm like one of I think there's maybe 3 men in my state, and I think I know 2 of them, including myself, that do this job. It's super rare for a man to do this job, but I got certified in like 3 months. Like it was super easy for me to get into. It makes good money. Let's check out. I think we got a price card that time. Let's see what we got. Oh, TVR Speed 12. Okay. That is the cash cow right there. I'm going to cash in too. Cha-ching. But my fiance loves that I do this job because she's always like, tell me the fun stories from today and all that kind of stuff. So it's an interesting job. Now that I'm working with misdemeanor court, it's a lot less stressful. When I worked in felony court, it was just some of the cases are just so brutal that it haunted me. I'd have nightmares with some of those cases. Like it's definitely not for the faint of heart, the working in felony court, because you get so many just gruesome cases. But in misdemeanor court's fun. I mean, you get like all sorts of crazy people that got caught traffic violations. It's actually really interesting. And it's just super lighthearted. I love it. I love my job. Alright, here we are, Rome. It's a really fun track. Like I said earlier, it's one of my favorite tracks. And is that a Speed 12 that's been racing modified? I think that is. I don't recognize that car, but I recognize the rear end of the either the Griffith or the Cerbera. That might be a Griffith.
Julio Rochcotto said that's what I'm saying, if you having fun is a good job.
Right. And I get along really well with the staff I work with. You know, the judge I work with a lot. Like, well, a lot. It's the only judge I work with.
Said yes.
And we are just running away again. This car is such a cheat code. Listen, it does not like low-speed corners and bumpy tracks.
Said it is the Griffin.
I couldn't tell. I recognize the back end, but I remember it from the Cerberus B12, like post-concept, and the Griffith 500 and GT3. So I was like, oh, that's got to be one of the two. All right, if I'm going to make this the longest stream I've ever done, we got about 24 minutes until that is the case. So I don't think we've got enough races to fully kill that time.
Dead Car Guy 350 said no sir, I'm hearing the bald eagle scream.
I don't think I've ever streamed longer than 3 hours on this channel. Or even gotten close. I think at this point, I think we have officially, as of like a minute ago, passed the longest stream I've ever done on this channel.
Julio Rochcotto said the Speed 12 has cool paint on racing though.
Oh, it does. Like, I love the colors the Speed 12 came in. And the Speed 6, the Tuscan, in like GT3 through 6 and 7. The Speed 6 I rarely ever see in GT7, so I always forget it exists in GT7. But yeah, it's got a really cool color palette. The, what's it, I guess iridescent colors? They're pretty nice. Alright. Yeah, this thing has been an absolute treat to drive.
Rochcotto said in GT2 is a white paint and a golden one.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's a good color. See, now that I'm not so frustrated like I was at the beginning of the stream, I'm having a lot of fun. Those first couple races we were trying to do early in the stream, I was just getting so frustrated.
Julio Rochcotto said an upgraded Speed 12 is fast but can't corner.
That's the majority of the cars that don't have aero in this game. They can't corner. Like that I said that as I put this thing in the wall. I think after this race, and maybe the next one, I think there's one more race in this, because I'm not going to be close enough to time. Because I do want to clip 3 hours tonight on this stream. Just so I can say that a Gran Turismo stream is my most, like, lengthiest stream. Well, granted, I think it is, actually. I think GT7, but... I think just for funsies, as a throwback to my GT2 Plus Let's Play, that car guy probably knows where I'm going with this. We're going to get an S4, and we're going to modify it. And I'm going to see if I can tame the beast once again. If you watched my Plus Let's Play, you know how fun the S4 was in the early game, but how much I hated it towards the end of the game because of the handling physics that car had. It was horribly understeering. Now, computer, knowing him, may, very, very loose chance of him doing this, may have snuck something in on the S4 just for me, but I don't know for sure on that. I'm going to highly doubt it, honestly, but I wouldn't put it past him. because that's how me and him really met, and how I got involved with the A-Spec project in general, like let alone at all, was he had watched one of my GT2 Plus videos and was like, hey, why don't you try out A-Spec? And I was like, heck yeah. And I made those like 3 videos on it I made last year before last, while I was still playing through Plus. And like I mentioned earlier,
Car Guy 350 said tame the beast and make her steer right.
Right. But it is also an Audi, which Audis inherently understeer. Oh, 360. Good thing I'm ahead. I'm just gonna like throw fully customizable suspension on it and just try to inherently make it oversteer. Because Audis and understeer just go together. Like, I've been playing through Underground 2 in my spare time, and I just got the Audi A3 because, you know, I'm a VW Audi guy. And the first thing I read when I was reading the Need for Speed wiki on that game was, oh, it understeers. And I'm like, it's an Audi. Of course it's going to understeer. That's their thing. That's what Audis are known for, is just understeering like crazy. Because Audi puts the engine so far forward, especially in their longitudinal cars. One of my like my childhood best friend has an Audi S5, and engine is over the front axle. We went autocrossing, and he was like, "Yeah, this thing understeers pretty bad." And he put a stiffer sway bar, and that cleaned it up completely. Like, it's super responsive now. But Audis and understeer like go together perfectly. Taking a quick check over my phone, make sure I'm not missing anything important before we do this. I'm going to play around with some more of the overlays as well for our next stream. Probably do that after I get done with this, honestly. Want to add some like new stuff. Alright, Laguna Seca, 5 laps. Oh goodness, I was paying attention to everyone but myself. Is that a Camaro? That is a Camaro race car. But not the good one from GT3. I don't recognize that one. That might be an add-in car that they did. I miss racing modifications, but I guess there's not really a point in bringing it back.
350 said Ron or Michael.
Michael has the S5. Ron has the RS3. Ron's RS3 is ridiculous. I don't know if you've watched on the main channel. I did a feature film on that car and like drove it. That thing is like absurd, honestly. I actually drove the S5 for the first time the other day, and that thing is so fun. It makes good noise, and it's just super. It's the punch. That supercharged V6 is just unheard of. It's just ridiculous. I love turbo engines, but man, that thing, the instant torque in that supercharged engine is so fun. I just love Audi and VW. I'm sorry, I fanboy a lot over that brand, that conglomerate. But as you guys are seeing, I also love BMW. I just love German cars, honestly, but with a focus on the VW conglomerate. A little bit of an oversteer episode there, super minor. Probably didn't need to go third gear in that corner. Into the corkscrew. Want to brake a lot, but leave it third. It still almost bit me there. This thing is fun. I have been thoroughly enjoying my time with the V12 LMR, but I knew I would. Like I said, I played with this car a lot during the development phase of A-Spec, and I had a blast. So I knew getting it in regular gameplay, I was going to enjoy it. I'm trying to read what the wing says, but I can't really read it all that well. Hopefully someday Computer and the team at A-Spec will do a behind-the-scenes video of how they model cars. Because that would be so fun to watch. I would watch it. Because I'd love to see how they make cars like this. From scratch to functional in-game like this.
Dad Car Guy 350 said, is Kaysen still going with the golf project? He hasn't uploaded in a while.
He is. The only reason he hasn't posted a lot lately is with his job, and he's a homeowner now. He just got the keys to his house this week, and he's been absolutely shredding on getting his house put together. And obviously, I think I can speak for everyone in our friend group, but we're all very excited for him. That's actually why I'm streaming tonight, not tomorrow, is because I'm planning on helping him get moved in. But he still has the car, he's still working on videos. I think he's still got videos he's been working on, but he's just been taking his time considering his job and now trying to get his house ready. Yeah, he still has the car, and he's pretty happy with it too. We were actually planning on going to Wookiees in the Woods this weekend, this upcoming weekend. Not tomorrow, but next weekend. But he didn't want to take his car. He's planning on putting it in the shop to get some work done, getting a clutch done, and some other stuff.
Said, hell yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, we're pretty happy for him. But he's putting his car, he's planning on putting his car in the shop next week. I don't know if he still is. But he's going to get this cam grill redone. He's going to get a clutch put in the car. A couple other things I think he said he wanted to have done to the car. And so he wasn't going to be driving. One of my other friends with the Golf R wasn't going. And, you know, I've talked about it loosely, but I've been dealing with some health issues since like December. And I just haven't wanted to travel because of it. I actually did get some answers on that today, which is positive. So I'm happy on that front. Not entirely out of the clear yet, but I think I know what we're up against now. So nothing life-threatening or anything. It's just not something I really enjoy talking about. So not going to Wookiees this year, which is fine. The money saved is going towards the wedding. I'm sure he'll be doing the same thing with his. All right, final corner. And across the line. All right, that is the GT All-Stars done. Let's see what our prize car is, and then we're going to go play around with the Audi S4 once again. New car acquired. I'm going to save. It's been a minute. We're at 2 hours and 49 minutes of streaming. If I want to break that 3-hour mark, we got 11 minutes. And I think building the S4 and experimenting with it is going to be what finally does that. Let's go check out our prize cars too, see what we got during that time. I think we got a couple prize cars. The last one we got, I want to say, was the Nazca, the DB7. So, all right. Let's see what we got. We got the Tommy Cara ZZ2, which is a good car to see. This is different from the ZZ2 that was in later games. I remember hearing about this. I watched a Raffle Waffle video, I think it was. They talked about this car. It's either him or it was, what's the other guy? Matt J something or other. I can't remember the numbers he uses. One of the two, they talked about this car and how it's different from the ZZ2 that was in the later games. And I got very familiar with the ZZ2 in like GT6. It was my go-to drag car for a while. And we got the R390 GT1 road car, which is always good to see. Not as good as the Toyota GT1, but still a really solid car. Alright, you guys know what time it is. It is time to bring back the legend from GT2 Plus, the BTCC spec Audi S4. First off, I've already seen the special lineup in this game. So if you're unfamiliar with the B5 S4, 2.7 Turbo V6, I just accidentally hit something. It has apparently saved a screenshot. I think, where's... Okay, this is probably Nagaro. 2.7, 5-valve per cylinder, twin turbo V6. It did not make 261 horsepower. It made way more than that. I think it was like mid 300s, like low 300s.
Dat Car Guy 350. Said Matt J 155.
That's it. I thought it was 1155, but it's 155. But yes, that guy. One of the two talked about the ZZ2, either him or Raffle Waffle. I can't remember which one it was. So the TT challenge would be kind of fun. I don't think the VR6 TT's in this game yet. I don't think it existed in 1999. We have the 1.8T though. Alright, time to have some fun with the Audi. Time to seek vengeance for how poorly that treated me in the late game of GT2 Plus. Alright, I already doubled the power with going to stage 4 turbos. It's crazy too because like the real things, like these 2.7 cars make so much power. But I trust the 2.7 about as much as I trust a piece of paper to not get ripped in the wind. Only slightly. Because paper sometimes doesn't rip in the wind. We're just going to go for a full build. We've got the money for it. Probably, well, no, I think the one in Plus was fully built as well, but I'm not doing the brake balance controller. I don't see that really being a necessity here. Up to 584 horsepower, and we still got a lot of work to do with this engine. Do some engine balancing. Up to 588. I think we're about to get into the 600s here in a moment. Yep. Port polish will push us over 600. Pretty solid numbers. And we still have possibly a displacement upgrade. We don't. Alright. I'm building this the exact same way we did in my Plus series. This Xbox controller is really loud. I'm like out of my peripheral watching the volume bar on my mic go up every time I hit a button. Yeah, this controller's pretty loud. And it's just a factory Xbox controller. I know some of you probably be bothered by the fact I'm playing a PS1 game with an Xbox controller, but don't judge me. Xbox controllers work the best with PC. Let's just go for the LSD. I might be able to tune this thing. I don't know how to tune limited slip dips in this game, but I'm going to try with this car because it'll need it. Fully customizable suspension, which I honestly don't remember if I did that with the original builds in Plus. But I might have. Alright, racing super softs. Let's go for it. What's in the for professionals? What I think that's the simulation tires, is it not? Yeah. We might for fun mess around with those later, but alright, time to throw the weight reduction on and get our RM set up. Our racing modifications. That'll make this the BTCC car. I think there's 2 different color schemes as well, so we might try the other one since I did the red color scheme. And plus, I think there's a yellow color scheme. Okay, it is just the red. I think the A4.
Dead Guy 350 said, "Don't forget the signature racing mod."
Yes, sir. It's back. But now it's an RS4. If you really think about it, it's not. Alright, just for funsies, I'm going to buy the simulation tires. I'm going to definitely switch back to the racing super softs, though. I'm genuinely curious as to how this car will drive on simulation tires. Alright, we spent a good bit of money to get this made, but I'm going to try the simulation tires on, like, a slower race, like the Sunday Cup again. Let's go Red Rock Valley, just because I want a more technical track to try out these tires on. Make sure we're actually on the simulation tires. I don't know how this is gonna. It's gonna go terrible probably, but we'll try this out first, and we'll switch over to the racing super softs. All right, come on, A-Spec. Let's improve the one car that I love that made my job terrible and plus. It definitely is going to need some gearing. Right away. Holy cow. The simulation tires are very, very profoundly making the understeer even worse. It sounds kind of like the R18 does in GT7. Yeah, the simulation tires are definitely... Wow, the Sunday Cup cars are keeping up with this thing on these tires. I can't corner on the simulation tires. But we need gearing and we need the better tires on this car, honestly. Yeah, the simulation tires were not the move if I wanted to do this car justice. I just wanted to genuinely see what the difference would be like, because I'm going to come back to this race and we're going to run it back on the super softs before I make any adjustments to the suspension on this car. Right away, I'm going to tell you this: the understeer is probably still going to be pronounced, just as it was during my plus playthrough. As you guys can clearly see with the sim tires, I mean, it's just all over the place. It's the only reason these Sunday Cup cars are keeping up with this thing. And it's a 600 horsepower, fairly lightweight with a weight reduction car. I can't keep it on the road. The simulation tires probably just like freaking like all seasons or something. Like cheap all season tires, honestly. Alright. Let's get off of these really cruddy tires, because that was like painful, honestly. As of now, We've cracked the 3-hour mark. It's the longest stream I've ever done on YouTube. Ever. I have never done this long of a stream. Which is ironic because I feel like if this channel ever does get big, I want to do a subathon kind of deal. Where I go for a long period of time. Maybe one day. Except I think those tend to work better on Twitch. Where you actually make money off of subs. Versus here. Because Twitch subscribers is not the same thing as YouTube subscribers. I think subscribers on Twitch are more like where like channel members are here. All right, let's run it back. Racing Super Softs. See what it does, then we'll make some adjustments to the suspension and stuff. I want to see what this car drives like when it's set up properly. Because my GT2 Plus days, this car was a handful. All right, let's see. Off rip, it's way better. If I remember to shift gears. Alright, onto the bank. Right away, we're still getting a lot of understeer. Under throttle, oddly enough. When I lift off, it kind of tends to be more neutral. So, that's probably some suspension settings. Yeah, I think stiffen up the rear end of the suspension. Make it a little bit more sharp turn in and maybe a little bit more oversteery. This thing would be perfect. But it does still inherently do Audi things and understeer horribly. Honestly, though, it's not as bad as the F40. I don't know how the F40 got done so dirty, but that car understeers so bad in this. If you're just tuning in and are wondering why I'm driving an Audi S4, I did a Let's Play of Gran Turismo 2 Plus, another mod of Gran Turismo 2, a couple years ago. And a lot of the videos, some of the most popular videos I've ever posted on this channel, involved this exact car. Maybe not this instance of this S4, but considering it's not the same save file, but you know, this car. The racing modified British Touring Car Championship livery Audi S4. So it does still have an inherently large amount of understeer. So someone may have to remind me what the lap times were in the simulation tires. Because I quite frankly don't remember.
Dat Car Guy 350 said another throwback would be racing the HKS 180 on the test course LOL.
And me barely beat it again. That's why I bought the F40 to do that job. I was not like wanting to go through that again. Having to like beg the car to beat the HKS drag car. So I don't remember if I used the F40 for that. Maybe I used something different. I don't remember. I have to go back and watch the old streams. That was random. Something like disconnected and reconnected on my computer. It does that periodically, and I'm not entirely sure why. Granted, it's always done that. Even my original build did this. Alright, so we're going to do a different race. I don't think I'm going to put this against the HKS 180 tonight, but I want to try to see if I can dial in the suspension on this car and get it cornering right, because like I said, in its original guys in GT2 Plus, my BTCC S4 had a lot of issues with understeer. As you guys just saw, it was doing it again. So I'm going to check real quick. I think I can do this race, but I'm not going to yet. I guess we'll just stick with what we've been doing. We'll do Tahiti Road next, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to find a race. I'm trying to think here what would be a good run for this car. You know what? Why don't we put it in the Supercar Festival? Let's do the Rome Night Race. We'll close this out. I'm going to make some tweaks to the suspension, add some gearing, try to help it out a little bit, and we're going to put it against some supercars. I think that will be the ultimate test of this car. That's not what I was looking for. I need to go... Okay, this is what I was looking for. So, spring rate, right here. Look at this. The front is stiffer than the rear. We're going to change that. I'm going to give this up to about 9.5 in the rear. And you give this kind of a rake of sorts. Lower it a little bit. I'm going to stiffen up the rear dampers, lower the front, same move here. Camber, probably leave that alone. Stabilizers, I'm going to bump this up to its maximum. I'm trying to get a little bit more. I'm going to go level 13. Downforce, we're going to need a little bit of aero here. Luckily, the racing modification gives us that. I'm going to add, I think we'll leave it about that. Give it a little bit of a stagger, a little more rear. I don't really know how to do the LSD settings. I know I said I was going to try, but I think for now I'm going to leave it. I think this is going to be our settings we're going to run with. I think I've got this to where it should be a little bit more oversteery, give us a little bit more rotation, as well as be a little bit sharper in the corner. That's kind of my goal with this car, is to nail that. Alright, let's race. I don't know how this is going to go. The Quattro was able to win this race. So the Quattro can win. It makes less power than this does. Has a lot more aero. This car should be within a shoot of this. And especially because it'll have the grip. Alright, let's close this out with a good race. Off rip, we are just running away. Not quite as much as like the V12 LMR. The suspension settings helped a lot. It's a lot more neutral. Still has a little bit of understeer to it, which I think inherently is going to be impossible to get around. But this is like miles better than a Droven Plus. See, still just enough understeer to be annoying. And give this R390 a chance to get around us. Still doing Audi things, but it's definitely a lot better. As you can see, it actually oversteered there. If there was a torque split, I bet that would help as well. Audis are inherently 50-50 torque split from the beginning, which would also play a part, I feel like, in some levels of the understeer. Granted, I've learned a lot on 50-50 torque split cars with racing, so at the same time, maybe it's not like that. Then typically I've only ever used 50-50 torque split for drag racing. Still just enough understeer. But this is going better than it did with the Quattro. Same story with the Quattro, losing a lot of ground in the last sector of this track, but in the early sectors, this car seems to be coming alive. This Nissan is trying to go out of its way. Still a good bit of understeer. I think maybe some more tweaking will get this car dialed in perfect on that front. Trying to play to this car's strengths, and that is its ability to fire out of a corner. It is very vicious acceleration-wise. But that understeer is still a limiting factor. But it is starting to feel miles better than it did in Plus. Even if it still does understeer pretty inherently. But that also may be due to the downforce settings I went with. I think I was thinking about it as I did it. That was a possibility that the downforce settings are playing a part in the understeer chronicles with this car. I'm going to put it in second, get that boost back up. It was starting to lag a little bit there. Or get lugged. The engine was lugging effectively. See, the R390 is able to get that inside line on me on that last corner, and it's just not helping my case here. I want to win this one, so I got to figure something out with that latter half of the track. I will say, like I said, this is miles better than it drove in Plus, but still not perfect. Oh, that was sketch. I totally thought that was a wall smack. I totally thought that was it. I totally thought that guardrail was meeting the front end of this car. I don't know how I managed that. My line in that corner was all messed up. Oh my goodness, what a run through here. Ah, the understeer got me there. Alright, now to figure something out right here. See, I don't know what kind of crazy line that R390 is getting through there, but I physically am struggling to copy it. It looked like he cut the corner almost. I think I short shifted there. Oh, I did clap the wall that time. Come on, S4. Redemption. We need it. So far, I'm not doing this car justice with all the wall taps. My line was still choppy through there. And it does not help when the AI is kind of pit maneuvering you almost. See, this car just does not have the turn in, make that same line the R390 does. I really need to have a pretty good lap here if I'm going to have any shot at beating the Nissan here. Come on. We got a good run on him here. I tapped that same wall though. Come on, don't let this be where I choke it. I know this race is almost over this car's head, but no, goodness gracious, I'm losing so much ground. Switcheroo there. All right, this is where it's all going to come down to. I need a crazy good run through here. And I freaking cooked it. The R390 gets a crazy line through here. No, goodness. Oh, man. What a race, though. I guess we can still call it partial redemption. We're only three tenths and some change off of that one. In a modified Audi. We still beat.
Said that R390 is serious.
Yeah, I hate that it's so serious.
Dat Car Guy 350. Said damn, that was a close race.
I still think we can still call it redemption. I mean, look what it beats. It beat a Lister Storm, which, keep in mind, is twin supercharged Jaguar V12. It beat a Vector M12, I believe another V12 powered car. It beat the Lamborghini Kala, which was the predecessor to the Gallardo, and the Marcos LM600 road car. These are serious competitors. And we were only 3/10 behind what was effectively a Le Mans race car with its wing ripped off. I think I can say this is redemption for the S4. It just needs a little bit more fine-tuning, and it would be good. I mean, it was a fair fight throughout the race. I mean, honestly, the car did great. Honestly, like, still understeery as mess. It did a lot of Audi things, but I will say the tuning we did made it a big improvement over the GT2 Plus instance of this car. I mean, look at it. It's a good-looking car, too. I think come to grips with that front end a little bit more. Try to figure out the understeer a little bit more. That car will be great. This track is borderline reliant.
Said the Audi was owning.
It was. But unfortunately, this is where it's time to end. On that bombshell, it is time to end this stream. Super fun night tonight, guys.
Said turns were sharp though.
Yeah, the turns were definitely not to the S4 strength, and that was kind of why I chose this track. Was to try to really put the understeer to the test, and it did Audi things.
Said a little extra tuning and you'll beat the 390.
All day. Yeah, I think a little bit of fine-tuning, getting that suspension dialed in a little bit better, and probably dealing with the diff. I want to figure out diff tuning, because I think if I can get the rear diff to lock a little bit more aggressively on turn-in, that will inherently swing the rear out, which I need more rotation out of that car. It's an Audi. That's going to be really hard to do, but it's worth trying. But on that bombshell, it is time to end the stream, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. This was the longest stream I've ever done on YouTube, between all three of my channels I run. So I do want to thank you guys for being a part of it and enjoying this with me. I'm going to try to stream this again on Sunday, if I can. We're supposed to get some pretty nasty weather on Sunday here, so that might keep me from streaming in case I need to take shelter. But anyway, I want to thank you all so much for watching. It was a really fun stream tonight, and hope you guys enjoyed it. And stay tuned for more GT2 Plus or GT2 A-Spec coming soon. Yes, sir.